Hi, I'm Asif Farouk and this is Finextra Cyboss. We're here today with Brian Collings of Torstone Technology. Thank you for joining us. So how do you think the regulatory landscape has changed over the last year, and can you tell us about some of the problems that your clients are facing?
Yeah, well, I guess initially we started off with the FTT, financial transaction tax for the Italian-French underlyings. That I think was very straightforward. I think it's a sort of reasonably simple environment, but I think as the other 11 European countries start, or if they do, then I think that will become a little bit more sort of complex, particularly around the data side. And then later and more recently, I think the EMEA and Dodd-Frank, things are getting more serious, even though there's been delays. People are now more serious in terms of getting those systems live and active. And I think certainly our clients have been looking to the global transaction reporting involvement on the back of the EMEA project. So that's getting a bit more exciting now and a bit more real.
Isn't one of the biggest problems with regulatory reporting the quality of client data? So how are your clients coping?
Yeah, absolutely. And the first thing in terms of regulatory reporting is that consolidation. It's bringing from all parts of the bank into one place where you can get the right information. That's not just the transactional information, but also the accounting side. So that's one of the biggest problems in data, is the sort of bringing that together. Next is the quality. And I actually heard some of the things this morning in the panels talking about the next step is, having gathered that information for regulatory reporting, they're going to be wanting to check a little bit deeper about how are you checking that data is complete, high quality, have you got the processes in place to do that. And then finally, I think, is some of the external data. So as I mentioned, the FTT, as that starts to get broader, if that does, then I think you're going to need external vendors providing the eligibility data. You're not going to be able to keep on top of that yourself, and you should be able to go and act. So combining your own data with that external data is going to be absolutely key.
Cost reduction must still be a general issue, so what are limited budgets being used for?
Well, absolutely, the budget's very focused at regulatory, as they should be at the moment, but I think we're reaching a tipping point. Some of the, I guess, older systems that people have, those regulatory changes are costing an awful lot of money to change and add the new features needed for that. Add that to the, operational efficiencies you can gain from a new system, and actually the operational risk you've got with the existing systems if they're 20, 25 years old systems. So I think the tipping point's coming where the actual amount of spend is better used in getting a more modern system, particularly because I think you need to future-proof. These regulations are here to stay. They're going to get, more control type issues going to come into place, where you're going to need to rapidly change your systems to keep up to date with the regulations. So hopefully that tipping point is going to be seeing more spend into replacing systems rather than just keeping the old systems going.
Isn't outsourcing a better way to reduce costs?
For some things, I think that's absolutely true. We found though that you've got to remember that the regulatory responsibility is still yours. So you need people involved in the company that understand what responsibilities they have, what controls to be put in place to make sure that is still the case, and what you've outsourced is still in control. You need people to manage that outsource capability and to check the quality of that. In actual fact, we've got a couple of clients, one existing and one we're talking to, who are going the reverse direction. They've outsourced the processing, have been not happy with the quality of data they get, so they've had to double check everything that's going on. When with one of the existing clients actually brought that in-house, counterintuitive, I know, but they reduced the headcount they have working in that area because they didn't spend all the time double checking. They knew that their controls in place were what they'd created, and actually the operational efficiency gains they got from that far outweighed the outsourcing. So I think different cases for the different types of area you're looking at, but certainly it's not a one solution fits all there. I think you have to look at the balance.
And lastly, how have you found Cyboss this year?
Absolutely fantastic as usual. I think we've always been thinking about sort of Middle East and Africa, so the combination of understanding what's going on in the market that you do get from Cyboss and a lot of the conferences, mixing that with where we are, some very interesting conversations we've had with several people which we wouldn't have had if it was anywhere else. So the place and the timing has worked very well, and looking forward to next year.